Had the fire already gotten bad by the time you left?
You know, I left as the Restless Park was burning.
Oh.
Okay, and it hadn't jumped the canyon yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we left just in time. So far, everything looks okay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Wow, look at that. It's all burning. And this looks like a damn war zone. I grew up in Nazi Germany, and that is what Germany looked like after the war and during the war. Difference is they bombed from the skies. Mm-hmm. This is the most devastating thing I've ever experienced in LA. Lived here since 1960. And man, oh my God. Wow. I don't want my family to see this.
No.
No. Boy, I've seen a lot of coverage on television over the last few days and never imagined this. I really did never imagine this. Up to 200, 250 people sometimes. LA Opera would sing Christmas songs. You know, I grew up during the Second World War. And we were... First of all, Laura, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that I watch you a lot, okay? And I watch CNN a lot. Let's get that out of the way.
Well, thank you so much.
What did I feel when I saw those flames? Well, anxiously, to actually see the result of the fire. Has it destroyed your home? Has it not? And the neighbors on my street, the Bernsteins and the Newmans and the Grays and all those people, and Dale Lawrence, we communicated with each other. It's a small cul-de-sac. And they had left, and no one really had a video of what had happened. And bits and pieces. And today I found out.
You know what happened to your home?
Bombed every day, and then every night and day. It was kind of a different, but the destruction was the same, really. And, you know, having lived here for all these years, I always thought, if that hillside over there, which is where
what's interesting is it's a sense of community because you can rattle off all your neighbors and you know them.
Yeah. Next to me, the Grays, gone. But you know, like after the Second World War, you rebuild.
That's what I was going to ask you. You've been through stuff.
You've got to rebuild. You've got to rebuild. Just goes aflame, then it could easily jump, and it never has. The 45 years. And now it did. You know, when you watch TV, and you see all these news coverages of all these people losing their homes, I understand now.
What do you understand now? What do you...
It's such a feeling of loss, man. Joshua Morrow, who plays my son on The Young and the Restless, actually broke through some barriers, went there and sent me the tough to see. Lived there for 45 years and see home. And you think you're tough, and then you see that and...
Gotcha, I gotcha.
That's why I worked out all the time. My garage.
Right there?
There was a heavy bag here, yeah. Look at that view.
Yeah. I mean, it's LA premiere.
Right.
So it's awesome that Dad is representing. That is, that's love.
Proud of my boy.
Yeah.
Very proud of him. You know?
That's what I was going to ask you is like, you know,
tough boy.
You hope for success for your children, but when they are successful, what does it mean to you?
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. More important than your own life, you know? Your children, grandchildren. My grandchildren are doing very well.
After the devastating LA fire that threatened Eric Braeden's home, we now have an emotional update on his heartbreaking situation. Stick around until the end to hear all the details. On January 7th, the young and the restless star Eric Braeden shared the terrifying news on his Instagram. His beloved home in Will Rogers Park, LA, was surrounded by smoke and flames. The once beautiful backyard was engulfed, with the sky painted red as the fire raged. Eric and his family were forced to evacuate, leaving behind a lifetime of memories. While they initially didn't know the fate of their home, it was Eric's on-screen son, Joshua Morrow, who gave him the first update. In an interview, Morrow revealed he had broken through barriers to check on Eric's property, sending him a photo of the damage. Eric admitted it was tough to see, saying, "You think you're strong, but when you see something like this, it hits you." He even confessed he hadn't shown the picture to his wife yet, unsure if he could bring himself to do so. The following day, Eric saw the destruction firsthand. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight's Kevin Frazier, he visited the ruins of his home. The moment was overwhelming. His worst fears were confirmed. As he stood before what was left of the house he had called home for 45 years, Eric couldn't hold back tears, saying, "I never thought it would affect me this much. All the memories. I don't want my family to see this." He pointed out spots rich with memories, including a cherished area where he and his son, Christian, hosted epic high school parties with 250 guests. The scene reminded Eric of the loss and destruction he had witnessed as a child during World War II. Reflecting on the tragedy, he shared, "When you see others lose their homes on TV, it's indescribable. It leaves you completely disoriented." Despite the pain, Eric remained optimistic. Drawing from his experiences during the post-war era, he declared, "You rebuild. You have to rebuild." Touring the property, Eric pointed out remnants of the life he had built. His garage gym and the backyard that once offered stunning views, now reduced to ash and burned hills. Meanwhile, Christian, who was in London promoting Den of Thieves 2 during the fire, is now heading back home. Eric stepped in to represent his son's work at a premiere in LA, proudly wearing a Den of Thieves jacket. His pride in Christian was evident, but the loss of the home where he raised his family was deeply felt. Eric is determined to rebuild, not just for himself, but for the future generations. His goal is to pass down the home's legacy to Christian, his children, and beyond. He shared how his wife, Dale Russell, had organized countless events at the house, sometimes hosting up to 300 guests. "She loved this home. She built it," Eric said with emotion. In their 1-hour evacuation window, Eric managed to save passports and a few photos, but couldn't secure other family keepsakes. Now, he's focused on appreciating the property's history and the memories it held. Interestingly, the house was previously owned by a writer for Seinfeld, a fact Eric discovered later. Recalling the moment he first saw the home, Eric said, "I looked through the window, saw the backyard, and said, 'This is it.' I knew instantly." While the fire may have destroyed the physical structure, Eric is determined to rebuild and create new memories. As we share his story, let's also be mindful of ongoing GoFundMe scams. Double-check the sources to ensure donations aren't going to fraudulent campaigns. Our hearts go out to Eric Braeden, his family, and all those affected by the fires. Let's show them love and support in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications for daily updates. Let us know in the comments if you've subscribed, and we'll do our best to reply and thank you personally.